What is going on, guys? I'm back with another podcast. Today, I have a few people joining me, more than usual, obviously. Usually, I have one person. But today, I have Aubrey, I have Emily, and I have Jimmy. I met them all on Twitter. Very good friends now. But today, we are going to be discussing everything about Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5. As we all know, that was an amazing episode. So there's a lot to talk about. And yeah, I mean, before we dive into all that, how are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Good?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good.
good so far? Heck yeah, excited for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um yeah, so usually before we go over like everything in depth, I kind of just go over the main synopsis of the episode. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. I think Jimmy's gonna be the one talking about that, and then afterwards we will go over everything. Anybody that's watching, you can ask questions, we'll answer it, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. So go ahead whenever you're ready, Jimmy.
All right. So episode 4 ends with Obi-Wan having saved Leia, but little do they know that they're being tracked to Jabim. Episode 5 begins to everybody's pleasant surprise, back pre-Attack of the Clones with a training session between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It then cuts back to Vader on his way to Jabim to face his former master. At the same time, Kenobi and the rest of those involved with the path recognize that they don't have much time. They have to leave. They have to escape. And in Empire Strikes Back fashion, they plan to figure out how to hold off the Empire while they get all the ships ready and get ready to escape. Reva comes with an entire, I think it was a battalion. I think that's the slide.
Yeah.
And when she comes knocking on the door, Obi-Wan, the negotiator, talks with her, and he figures out that Reva is actually not trying to be the best Inquisitor. She is, in fact, looking for revenge from being a youngling and watching Anakin kill all of her friends, and she's hunting him. This presents Obi-Wan with an opportunity to get a new ally with the rebellion. Meanwhile, little Lola is possessed and makes it impossible for the path to escape. So it's up to little Leia to fix that. After a very after one more chance with getting Reva to come in, she chooses not to take Obi-Wan's hand to help and attacks, and it leads to the sad demise of Tala. And what was her droid's name again?
Ned
B.
B.
I knew there was a B in
Yeah.
there. I just couldn't remember if it was B something or something B. Anyways, after that sacrifice, Obi-Wan gives his lightsaber away and says that there are other ways to fighting, and goes and essentially convinces Reva to help him attack Vader. Vader comes, Vader bolts for Obi-Wan, and actually in Rey fashion, I know it's Force Unleashed, but I'm going to go with Rey, Force freezes the ship and brings it back down, only for there to be a second ship that Obi-Wan and the Path escape on. Reva then sees this as a opportunity to take on Vader, and Vader proves that he does not need a lightsaber or the ability to move fast to absolutely dominate anybody. The Grand Inquisitor makes his bold return, and Kenobi and them have escaped, but they have no hyperdrive. Also, as the big cliffhanger, we watch as Reva learns about the twins and their importance and the importance of Tatooine. And we are left to imply that the final showdown will either take place on Tatooine or en route to Tatooine. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that episode. Wow.
Yeah.
This is definitely my favorite so far. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
So just with just with the opening scene, we get to see we're all pleasantly surprised with Anakin Skywalker like right away, and this is the very first time that Hayden Christensen has played Anakin in almost 20 years. So that was amazing seeing him again. And then obviously Obi-Wan, just back in their Attack of the Clones era, characters, outfits, whatever. And so my first question actually has to do with that scene is, how did you guys feel like with the look and the sound of Anakin in the flashbacks? And do you wish there was like makeup or CGI done to his face? I know this is really controversial right now. Like, so some people are like really like, oh my god, he looks so old.
Let's start like really hard and heavy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, like I was personally, I liked it. It didn't take me out of it at all. I was just really happy to see Anakin again, so I was like, I wasn't even thinking about it that hard.
Same.
Yeah,
I thought he looked amazing.
Yeah, the second I saw the like rat tail, I knew it was him because when it first started and you see the cityscape of Coruscant, I thought it was Alderaan for 2 seconds.
So did I.
And then you see his rat tail, and it's like, oh nope, that's Anakin.
Yeah, it was super great. I agree. I think go ahead.
Personally, so the CGI has to be used with Luke because Mark Hamill is on set, and then they use a double, and the only real way to mesh it is literally through CGI. Like, there's no other way to do it. But to me, has he aged a little bit in 20 years? Sure, but like, I mean, you could even make an argument that he just looks like he was training without Obi-Wan. Like, in that shot right there, you don't even notice that he's aged.
Right? I agree.
Like when he smiles, whatever little bit of wrinkles he has, it almost like his dimples take over it, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But me personally, I think the CGI sometimes works, but like we've seen in Rogue One and other things, like sometimes it can be distracting. This is literally the safest bet. Like, this is fine. I was totally fine with it because they're both the same body size as they were. Like, neither one of them is like gained or lost a lot of weight, or they haven't shrunk or anything like that. So I mean, to me it works perfectly. Like, I'm totally happy with it.
Yeah, I was just happy to see Anakin again, so
yeah, for sure. And they still got all the moves. Like,
oh my God.
It's almost like no time passed. Choreography was great. Everything looked fantastic.
And I don't know if y'all noticed this too, but in the flashbacks, Obi-Wan's hair looks a lot redder. And I kind of wonder if they just like grease up his hair in like the current day scenes. To show he's aging.
So what I kind of feel like is after the first fight with Vader in Kenobi, I feel like because Obi-Wan doesn't stay in the back of the tank, I feel like he's already aged. Like, he's already aged another 5 years in like 3 episodes. So like, I feel like because he started out a little bit older, now he's a little bit more older. I felt like they needed to differentiate it by literally looking like, oh, look at what healthy hair looks like. Like, look at like young, youthful hair. So yeah, but I noticed that's true.
Heck yeah. And I know we'll talk more about it as we go on, but like, I love the way how they kept bringing the same flashback back to the screen like throughout the whole episode. Just kind of symbolizing something. But yeah, so that's all I have for that particular opening scene. My next question's actually towards the end of it, so I don't really know if I want to ask that yet. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to ask yet, but yeah, this is like pretty much towards like the very end of it, so it has to do with like what we think's gonna happen next and all that stuff. With how it ended.
That's fine. I mean, we could like basically just like take over both ends of it and then like combine.
Go back to the middle.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Also, if y'all see this is my dog Millie. I had to bring her with me, so she's my special guest. She keeps popping up. Do you want to say hi? No? Okay, that's fine.
It's actually super smart that you put your Twitter name. I didn't even think of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
no one's gonna know who Matt is. Yeah.
I didn't think of that either.
Yeah. But so after the flashback scene, it goes straight to Jabeam, right? If I remember correctly.
Are you talking about right after this? That
right? Yeah, like right after that scene.
It goes right.
Oh, Vader actually. Vader
standing on the Star Cruiser and being told that they're. I forget if he tells them that they're to set a course for Jabeam or if he's told that that's where they're going. I forget what it is, but it's something like that. And then it cuts to them on Jabim. It does like a whole thing, and then I think it goes back to the flashback, and then it goes to Vader in hyperspace. I believe. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah, and that's when Reva,
It's
mess
Reva,
up the
yeah.
It
pronunciation.
is Reva. Okay.
That's when she's made Grand Inquisitor
Right.
as well.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Which did anybody watch it a second time? Because I noticed the second time I watched it, when Reva is told to kneel, her reaction to like hiding the fact that there's like trauma there is kind of amazing. Like the second time because the first time I watched it, I just thought like I wasn't totally sure, but I noticed there was something there. But like when you know later on what it is, and then when you see it, she almost has like a trauma flashback.
Yeah.
See what you're saying? Also, like when Vader was looking out into hyperspace, it was like kind of a parallel to Ahsoka doing that in the season 7 of Clone Wars. So I thought
that was
really
my
cool.
first thought.
Yeah, me too, honestly.
That and something else that occurred.
Yeah, just like looking out into hyperspace, thinking about stuff. I don't know. And then so right after that, that's when we go to Jabim, correct? It cuts to Obi-Wan and all them. And then they're getting prepared because they're gonna attack the whole place. And then Reva eventually shows up, like you were talking about earlier, with like a huge battalion or whatever. And then that's when Obi-Wan's like, I'll buy us some time, get out of here. None of them actually even moved. They all stayed right behind him. And they both went to the door, Reva and Obi-Wan, and they had this like whispering little conversation in the middle of this whole thing. And that's when Reva, kind of tells Obi-Wan how she knows that Anakin is Vader. And because obviously we were all very curious about that. I feel like most of our predictions were correct, with Reva being the youngling in the very first opening shot of this whole series. And then so that's how she figured out Anakin is Vader, because she was there, during Order 66, and Anakin came in with the 501st and all that. And then they showed another flashback during that scene too, with Anakin coming in, and then Reva as a youngling, and actually kind of shows like Anakin, slicing through these younglings. I thought it was kind of crazy, but so then we got to see more of Hayden Christensen in that scene as well. And that scene was pretty dark, to say the least.
I never thought we would actually see him like going at the kids.
Yeah.
I agree.
Disney managed to do it like just right, where it's implied and it does a lot, and you see a decent amount, but you never it doesn't go like too dark where you see like a kid get cut in half. So that was literally the perfect balance of we need you to feel how Reva feels, but we also don't need to traumatize kids.
Exactly. It kind of like shows it in the corner of the screen. You can barely see it, and then like the next shot is just like them falling on the ground. So it's like you don't see the whole thing.
I guess that was why there was a warning at the beginning of this episode. There was a warning that said certain images may be disturbing for some viewers. I just figured because they did that, I think before. I feel like they didn't do it when Obi-Wan got thrown through the fire. I feel like they did it the episode after. I just figured it was like a thing they were just gonna do from now on, just to be like safe.
Right.
But maybe it like literally was like, there's like implications of like child murder.
Yeah. And then like after that whole talk, like she kind of like stabbed her saber into the door, and then opened it, and Obi-Wan like force pushed her right away, which was pretty dope to see. And then that's when they all started attacking, and that scene was pretty crazy. It was action packed. The camera was everywhere. It was like shaky everywhere.
Yeah.
And
did you guys notice like how guerrilla style like the fighting was too? Because then there was like that stormtrooper that was like in that corner, and then like they actually like go hand-to-hand combat with him and everything just to get him out of the way to keep shooting.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I like how the fighting has been realistic in terms of Star Wars, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just
Watching that scene at so I watched it 3 a.m.
Me too.
So dark in my room, and all it was like flash, flash, flash.
Yeah.
Because of the lighting. But I think that helped to show how chaotic the fight would have been itself, and how probably people also didn't know exactly what was going on. They were just trying to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole scene probably woke you up a little bit, no?
Yeah. Because waking up at 2:45 to watch is always a blur.
I wish I could do that. Oh my
it's
God.
fun.
Yeah.
I don't wake up for it. I like just like stay up straight through. I'm like, I will sit here, and if I have to eat things and drink things just to stay up, I will do it.
I cannot do
Did
that.
that last week. No.
I gotta set an alarm.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about anybody else, but after I watched it, it like took me like a good like hour and a half to like calm down afterwards because I was just
to process everything. Oh my god, that's
I just
literally
go
how I
straight to
would.
Twitter.
Yep.
Yeah, for
I
real.
went
Like-
to Twitter and I put on Miss Marvel and I'm like, there's no way I can like emotionally recover from this.
Literally.
It doesn't help going on Twitter either because that's all you see after you watch it. Is just
I
people
know.
posting pictures and stuff. It's like, gosh. My friend Everett said I still don't like the Grand Inquisitor's head. Oh my god.
I mean,
I'm fine with it.
Like, so here's the thing. First of all, they couldn't. I was reading something because I didn't really understand nothing against Rupert because he does fine.
Mhm.
I never understood why they didn't use Jason Isaac because like he's
Right.
But apparently, it literally just has to do with scheduling. Like they literally couldn't schedule him. So like that's really the only thing.
So did they actually ask Jason Isaacs to do it?
From what I understand, he was the first one asked, and I think
better
he's
be.
on a Star Trek show or something.
Star Trek. So he betrayed us. I
Ooh.
see.
Literally.
How dare he?
I don't know. The more Star Wars people I talk to, the more like all of a sudden somebody will mention something about Star Trek and like liking it, and I'm like, wait, should I be like more on this Star Trek bandwagon?
I've actually never seen Star Trek in my life. So
I've never
I
seen
haven't
it either.
I think they're different. I just think they're enjoyable. I just think they're different. You know.
Yeah.
I can't say much. Like I've seen pictures of it. It looks kind of weird to me, but I know I can't.
Yeah,
I can't say
I was
nothing.
It's like
thinking the
comparing
same thing.
It's like comparing Marvel and like DC. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
just like both, and that's just it. They're just different. But I actually kind of, you know what? The more I think about it, the more I kind of like the fact that he kind of looks a little funky because it makes him be more of a little shit. Like he's supposed to be. Because he just looks it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Rupert's performance, but like he kind of does. He looks like a teacher's pet a little bit. And it like works because that's essentially what Inquisitors are. It like doesn't matter how badass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's something about the show that I've loved is seeing like the relationship between the Inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them kind of group together, as we've seen in Rebels. I don't remember which two it was.
I think it was wasn't it the fifth brother and the seventh sister, maybe?
Yeah, they were
Something like
like
that.
paired all through season 2.
Yeah, and then some of them don't work with anybody else, like Reva, who, well, I guess some of the other Inquisitors like her, which is another kind of dimension to it.
Yeah. It'd be really cool if we could just see all of them in live action, though. Like, if they just do, like, even if it's just, like, one shot, like, towards the end of it, where you see, like, Vader, like, back with his people, and there's just all of them there.
Yeah. And honestly, he really doesn't even need them, to be honest.
Well, isn't the Inquisitors actually Palpatine that starts that? Like, against...
I think so.
It's in the comics, it's, like, against... Like, Vader doesn't want anybody else. And then Palpatine starts that, and basically Vader then just uses it to his advantage, which is basically using wild and rage kids essentially do his bidding, and so he doesn't have to do everything.
Yeah, I think the beginnings of that idea, that was in the Clone Wars. There was an arc where Ahsoka and Anakin had to go rescue kids that the Emperor had taken to Mustafar. So I think that might have been the beginning of it, because I think it said that he wanted to make like a Force-sensitive army or something.
Yeah,
that could have been like the beginnings of it.
Is that in that episode? Does the Emperor and Dooku like have a conversation about it?
I don't remember. Possibly.
Yeah, because it's so interesting. Like going back to that and realizing how much Dooku knew of Sidious's plan. Like Dooku was in on it pretty much the whole time. So I just kind of I forget though if that was something, because I know the Maul and Savage Opress stuff was not talked about with Dooku, but I was just like kind of curious if Dooku knew all that too.
Yeah, I remember I think on Twitter earlier you were talking about Dooku and Cypher Diaz and all that. I think it was on Ali's post, maybe.
Yeah, she mentioned something about like the fact that like everybody wonders like why the Jedi didn't question like the Republic Army.
Oh yeah. Clone Army. Yeah, they kind of just accepted it because it all happened so fast.
Yeah, I mean in Clone Wars, like they eventually like kind of questioned it, but like I don't know, it's like really, at that point when you have like literally nothing, like
Yeah.
I don't kind of beggars can't.
Just like, here we go. You know, hope for the best. Hey, the clones are awesome though. Just not the chip that was put into them.
I really like that aspect though, because then it means like they're all like good and like decent, like they actually are decent human beings still. So that's like kind of cool.
Yeah, I like how they're all unique and different. Like they all have their own.
And that actually, now that I think about it, that is a precursor to brainwashing stormtroopers and eventually brainwashing First Order troopers too, because they eventually do that. So.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I mean, I guess we pretty much answered this question. I'm fine with the Grand Inquisitor's head. I think it's great that they added the Sith eyes. I think in the trailer he didn't have Sith eyes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I like it. I'm fine with it. And he wasn't even in most of the show, anyways. He was like in the first 2 episodes, and then I guess this last one.
Yeah.
What do you think about the controversy when he died? Kind of people thinking, are they going to break canon? Are they not?
I at no point questioned breaking canon. I just figured he was alive.
Me too. It was kind of obvious to me because I've seen Rebels. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, obviously he's alive.
The only thing I did wonder is because like I feel like Disney with other shows is building towards explaining how Palpatine uses cloning technology for Snoke and himself. Part of me almost wonders if they're ever going to dabble in it like earlier, like because I think Bad Batch is actually going to explain the technology eventually. So part of me was like, are they going to? That was one thing that did cross my mind. I was like, are they going to do something like that? Is he going to be like the first Force sensitive clone? Like, but he's not. I think this is a better, easier explanation. But I was like, oh my god, is this going to be totally bonkers? But
I actually didn't think about it like that at all. But that would have been interesting.
So the thing is like I really like The Rise of Skywalker, but I see so many flaws with it. So I noticed with Grogu, like and Gideon, like getting like the basically like the midi-chlorians essentially. Like I feel like that's what it's leaning towards. And then I noticed with Bad Batch, it ends with one of the Kaminoan scientists like being like incorporated by the Emperor. Yeah. So I'm like, I feel like there's like this overarching story, and it's gonna actually like improve like the viewing of all of everything, knowing that the Emperor the whole time basically had a failsafe. So I'm just like waiting to see that.
I know this is kind of going backwards a little bit, but you know, like the Jedi tomb in the last episode. What do you think they're like? Does that have to do with like cloning something? Like, what do you guys think? What's going on with that?
I thought that at first, but I honestly like don't know.
I think they're just trophies.
Yeah.
I kind of think they're trophies too. I almost feel like they're not. Okay, so has anybody read the Darth Vader comics?
Nope.
I started, but I have read like.
I don't know if I should say it because like one of the greatest Vader moments of all time is in a comic book, and it's not even.
Is it canon?
What?
Is it canon or no?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know then.
That's okay.
I'll say if it's not canon, go ahead. I don't really care, but I don't know. It's up to you guys.
I say tell us. I don't mind.
Yeah,
right,
I don't care.
I'm down for it.
Basically, he goes to this planet and he basically like kills like an entire royal family except the youngest, and because they're not listening to him. And he goes, I have a gift for you, and it's this princess, and he literally hands her just a box. And he opens up the box. I mean, she opens up the box and she goes, what is this? Because it's literally just like rocks. And he goes, this is all that's left of Alderaan.
Oh, shit.
That's messed up.
That's
and I was like, so to me, they're not trophies. They are literally to tell these Force-sensitive Sith, you're next if you don't do exactly what I tell you. That's why it's there at their place. It is to keep them in line because he don't like them anyway. He's like, you're all replaceable. You all do not matter. And you will be one of these trophies if you don't listen to me. So that's what I think because, like I said, like Vader basically, it's one of my favorite Vader moments and it's like not live action anywhere. And I really want him to basically do the same moment with somebody else because I think people will freak out because I remember reading it and I freaked out. I was like, that is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
Ever heard or read, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like, and the panels for it are like insane, and I'm just like, oh my god. But yeah, so that's what I kind of think. I kind of think it's like They're not trophies. They're literally because I think not all of those kills, but I feel like a good portion of them are Vader's or Anakin's before he becomes Vader's kills. Because like that kid,
Right.
I actually thought we were gonna find out Reva killed that kid to like become an Inquisitor or something like that. But then,
that'd be interesting.
But obviously that's not the case. So that's like and he knew that Reva was a youngling. So that's like a trophy for her to be like, that could be you.
Yeah, I kind of have a question about that. I mean, I know it's towards the end. When Vader, like, he was like, "You think I didn't know youngling" or something like that. Like, so he knew the whole time that she was like one of those younglings on Coruscant. Or what?
That's what I was wondering too. Like, if he knew she was messing with him like the whole time or not.
Yeah, and if he did know, why did he keep her around for a while?
Personally, I feel like he did know, but he understands revenge better than anybody else. So he knows what somebody would do for it. So he is just kind of letting her do that. And she has the thing is it's kind of an enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing, because as much as she doesn't want to admit it, she definitely is pissed off at Kenobi. Like, she wanted to find Kenobi also, because I think even if they would have killed Vader together, I think she might go after Obi-Wan, because to her it's his fault. It was your apprentice, you weren't there, which she kind of says in the episode. So I think Vader knew, and none of like the other Inquisitors are like, don't worry about Kenobi, don't worry about Kenobi. It's her that's like, no, we must find Kenobi. And Vader's just like sitting there like, all right, do your thing. I'm just gonna wait for you to do it, and then I will just take control, because he has absolutely no fear of Reva. And as good of a swordsman as she is, she's just too blinded by hatred to be strong in the Force to even compete with Vader. But that's the same with the rest of the Inquisitors. They're not. Nobody's with him.
So you think you kind of like left her around so she could also kind of lead him to Kenobi too?
Yeah, I think he just was like,
makes sense.
Yeah, he saw like some of her, like his unhinged is her, and he's like, that will be how we get Kenobi, somebody that's like willing to like literally kill an entire group of people just to get to him.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's exactly what we need.
Yeah. That whole scene, like before that, when they actually like fought, was incredible. Just Vader not even using his own saber and just using the Force to fight her was freaking awesome. I'm glad they're showing how powerful he is finally. And even right before that, well, I guess you already mentioned it when he's pulling the ship down. Yeah, that was probably my favorite Vader scene. It's kind of tie with the Rogue One, but the hallway scene. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I was very happy to see it, because he does similar things in the comics. I haven't read all the comics, just the Vader ones, like the first like 25 issues or whatever. I read like while they were coming out, because that was like the Vader we hear about in the original trilogy, but don't really get a chance to see because it's not about him. So,
I got sad they pulled a Rogue One and killed Ned B.
Yeah,
for real. For real, yeah. That's pretty sad. I felt more sad about the droid than Tala.
And he died defending Tala too.
Yeah, I think that's what made it so sad.
For real.
It was such a nice droid.
Oh, it was just it's so good.
It's funny how only knowing them for like 2 or 3 episodes, we're like crying over them dying.
Yeah, I think that goes to show like how good they did like building her character and the droids.
Yeah,
for real. I really liked the music they put over that scene. Finally some good music.
I mean, I feel like the music hasn't been as prolific as like the trilogies, but I feel like that's done so on purpose, because like it's more undertone to like see what's going on and be inside the characters, as opposed to like the Imperial March, where it's like, here comes Vader, da, da, da. Like this is we're like there with them. I don't know. I really like every aspect of this show, like so much.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, because there are so many times, especially in this episode when Vader's walking down the hallway, where I wanted the Imperial March to play so badly.
Right.
Or then when Obi-Wan was telling Leia about her father, I wanted Across the Stars to play, because I saw someone like edit that, and I was like, that would have been perfect.
Oh my god.
But
I feel like the moments. I feel like it trims down those moments. Like it doesn't make them as intimate. I think that's like the problem. Is like it's all too like noticeable. Like Across the Stars, if they ever play it, the only time it should be played is if there's a Padme flashback. If there's one and
That's what I'm
that
thinking.
plays, it'll break people. Just like I think, like not playing the Imperial March could be, depending on how you want to look at it. Like, ooh, is there still some good in Vader? Like, we haven't really seen him done anything too. Well, I mean, he did snap a kid's neck, but aside from
Yeah,
that,
I was about to say, bro.
he hasn't done.
Hasn't been too evil yet.
He hasn't made Obi-Wan totally lose hope yet. Obi-Wan has to lose
Until the
hope.
next episode, of course.
Right. Obi-Wan has to lose total hope before the Imperial March can play. That's what I'm thinking, because the show is from his perspective. So therefore, like, we can't have the Imperial March until like everything's lost.
Do you think we're going to see them fight again?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all in their promotional material. Like, so I feel like they have to fight again.
I feel like they technically don't have to, but I think that's what they're going to do. Like, they could leave it at this, but...
Put it this way. Hayden Christensen was caught practicing with a cape. There's no reason he has to practice fighting with a sword.
That's true.
Cape unless he wears the damn cape. So unless he's going to be the Cape Clone Wars flashback, unless that's it, and he fights somebody with a lightsaber, then we've seen him practicing to fight Kenobi. So I'm assuming they have to fight one more time.
In episode 3, was that Hayden like when he was fighting Kenobi or no?
Some of it, I think.
I know the far shots are not Hayden for the height or whatever.
Right.
But
I think some of it is, because I know that like in other, like all the other versions, there is somebody that does do the dueling, but I don't know if they only do the dueling for like the wider shots because they're taller, and Hayden does like some of the other things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna fight, especially because they keep saying this line, oh, it's the rematch of a century, you know what I mean? And that last one definitely wasn't a rematch of a century. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure
it was totally story appropriate, but that's not what we want. We want something else.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm super excited to see that actually. I think it's gonna be very emotional, and I think it's gonna be kind of like the Ahsoka and Vader in Rebels. I really think it's gonna be similar to that.
Are we allowed to theorize? Can I have a theory for that.
Go ahead.
I didn't know if we wanted to save those at any point. This is kind of an out there theory, but I kind of think Obi-Wan will win and will consider righting his wrong and consider killing him, and Qui-Gon will stop him.
That would be really cool to see.
That's what I think is gonna happen. That's why he keeps asking for his master. I
forgot about Qui-Gon.
All right.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna show up definitely. Like they've hinted at it so much.
That's like
at least his voice.
That's the moment. If there's ever a moment, that should be the moment.
Wait, that would actually be really cool to see.
Because I think
what if Qui-Gon's like he is the chosen one?
I think that's what Qui-Gon will say. He is the chosen one because he will fix his wrong. It's just not that. I think the other question then has to be because I'll go off this. If they break the helmet, is his eyes Sith red or not?
Ooh.
Because that will be huge.
I don't know. What do you guys think, Aubrey and Emily?
I feel like they probably would be, because they were in Rebels too, right? Were they?
Yeah,
I think they were. Yeah.
But
that's way ahead of time though. But
that's true.
But the thing is, so like in Revenge of the Sith, his eyes keep going back and forth.
I was gonna say that right now. Yeah.
So to me, it's possible.
Well, they only turn that way if he's really like tapped into the dark side, like really with it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's obviously he's like kind of conflicted in this series.
I feel like he's kind of mad at like Obi-Wan too, so he might tap into the dark side to fight him.
Right. True. I just kind of wonder, like, if Qui-Gon is gonna stop him, Qui-Gon will talk to both of them, and I think that'll freak him out, and then there could be like a good moment, which would actually be a great moment for the Imperial March, is like Obi-Wan stops and like you hear that, and then Anakin like calms down for a second, and then he basically like rejects it and like basically goes to try to attack, and I think that's when we see like Vader finally hit his true form essentially.
God, it's making me so excited to see what
I know, I'm
what's
like,
to
"Ooh,
come. Oh my god,
Possibilities.
I kind of hope that happens.
for real.
Well, I do a lot of theorizing, and I'm not. I get like things like half right. Like after like the first 2 episodes of Kenobi, I said to my mom actually after we watched it, I'm like, I wonder if Reeve is just so pissed because Obi-Wan failed, and like I was like half right.
Hmm.
So, I'm hoping I'm half right because I like the idea of like kind of theorizing right, but I really like the fact that I keep being totally shocked by literally everything.
Yeah. Do you guys think we're gonna see any like Padme flashbacks or anything? Or do you think he's gonna like bring Padme up to
God, I hope so.
Anakin?
Yeah, I want it, but I don't know if we'll get it.
I
Yeah.
think Padme will be brought up, and
like
part
telling
of me,
him there's still good in him.
yes,
Like
bringing
Padme
that
believed
sentence
in
up.
you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Oh God,
But
I
I
really
don't
hope
know.
so.
Maybe Obi-Wan wouldn't bring her up because he's basically trying to avoid the answering about the pregnancy thing. So he might just say like, "Yeah, no, I'm just not saying."
That's true.
Yeah.
God, yeah, there's so many things I have to think about with that, huh?
But
Yeah,
I guess
You
he
can't let-
doesn't
you
have
can't
to
let
bring
things
it up
slip.
like when it was said. Like because he brought her back on the ship.
Yeah,
I
it just
kinda-
I don't know. Like I almost wonder if they'll just try to like avoid like if Obi-Wan will
Yeah.
just literally try to avoid it. I don't know. I really just want her to show up because I feel like I mean, you can see it sometimes in the comics they do this a couple times. Similar things, but not the same thing. But like I just think it would be like really cool like if Qui-Gon talks to them and it like makes Anakin see the light and he sees Padme and he rejects her or something. You're not real. You're not. No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of like in
well,
the Clone Wars Mortis arc when he sees his mother, but
Mhm.
it's actually the son, but it could be he sees Padme, but it's the light side trying to reach to him or something.
Yeah.
Hey Jimmy, well, is it true that like Force ghosts can't really communicate with Sith? Like, can Qui-Gon even communicate to Vader? He can't, right? I don't think he can.
But you still have the whole thing where Vader ends up being a Force ghost prior to him being a
Right.
Sith anyway, and there's no real way he could have learned it. The only
True.
explanation is that he
That's
truly
true.
is the chosen one, and he can just do it. But then again, look at what Leia does in The Rise of Skywalker, and basically creates Han to talk to Kylo, like.
For real. Damn.
So
Crazy.
I feel like there's ways around it, and because Qui-Gon isn't a Force ghost and never, I feel like he's just the Force, therefore he could. So I feel like there's a way, and if like I said, like if Anakin really is the chosen one, even the chosen one, like to bring balance, I kind of feel like they have to be both. So like Vader would have, I mean, Anakin had to be Vader to then balance it. So then there's always that light in him, which means Qui-Gon would be able to reach him somehow.
Vader learned to be a ghost from Obi-Wan right after he died, when he was in the middle ground between life and death.
Okay, there you go. Well, he learned it really fast.
Yeah.
Because like within an hour, that guy just showed up.
For real.
That was his first
full
time
form.
as a Force ghost, right then.
Yeah, that's just it. Okay, we're good. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always interesting. Like, because I noticed it in rewatching Clone Wars, how like none of the Jedi bodies like disappear, and then it's like not till like season 6 towards the end of it when Yoda like goes on that trip from Qui-Gon that
Oh yeah.
it becomes like, oh yeah, we're gonna learn how to do this now.
Well, Qui-Gon, he eventually learns to be a full Force ghost. No.
No,
Never?
he only shows up on that one planet. There's that planet that's with the father
In the Clone
son,
Wars,
and
right?
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
remember
because that's like super Force, he's able to show up. But other than that, he never shows up. He just speaks.
That's weird. No.
Yeah.
So like he's the
There's
only
also
he's
that-
the one that like found it.
Right.
So to
Did you
speak.
ever see the deleted scene from Attack of the Clones? I mean, Revenge of the Sith. I'm sorry.
Revenge of the Sith. When Yoda trying to talk to Qui-Gon on the ship.
Yeah. Well, he's just
Yeah.
because
He's
I
like
remember,
meditating.
He's just meditating, and then like
Yeah.
Qui-Gon just like talks to him.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen that.
but then they cut it, which makes sense because then they were able to explain it better in Clone Wars, and like I don't know, like I feel like in a movie aspect, unless you're getting that like 4-hour cut, like I feel like that just would have like been like thrown in there, like, oh yeah, by the way, here's Qui-Gon. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he suddenly became a fast learner as opposed to his time as a Padawan. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we'll be getting Qui-Gon in the next episode. Because I originally thought he was gonna show up a lot earlier in the series,
Yeah.
and I mean, there's only one episode left, so kind of.
Well, unless Ewan McGregor wasn't kidding, and there's 4 more episodes after it.
Oh my god, imagine.
I hope so. But I saw something that the episode might be like an hour and 33 minutes, I think, long.
Yeah, I
but
saw
I don't
that.
know how true that is.
But
Yeah, someone said there's an attached Q&A.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
but,
saw.
like-
That I've also seen that where it's like it's an hour and a half total, but there is a Q&A attached to the episode.
Mhm.
But to me, what would be the best thing is to do an hour-long episode with a Q&A, with the Q&A ending with, "Oh yeah, by the way, there's 4 more episodes." And I was like, "What?"
Well, I feel like by the time the next episode ends, we can kind of see, if there's space for more episodes, depending on how it ends. Also, I think I want to bring up. I forgot. I have another question I didn't ask you guys. With the way the episode ended, will Reva seek revenge on Obi-Wan by going after Owen, Beru, and Luke back on Tatooine? So, what do you think the whole plan is with Luke and Reva? Do you think Obi-Wan's gonna kill Reva or something?
I have no idea, honestly.
I think it'd be really interesting. I would think it'd be really interesting if he has to kill her.
Me too.
I think what's the problem is going to be she'll use that knowledge to lure Vader somewhere else.
So he might like have.
Yeah.
So he might have to kill her to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very interesting to see Obi-Wan kill somebody. Like,
Yeah, I kind of really want that because I feel like
because you're evil.
no, because like I feel like with like Clone Wars and things like that, this gray, and even with like the sequel trilogy, there's this gray area that people don't, that basically is how Anakin got lost, because even in Clone Wars he's like, I don't think we're supposed to do this, and then they do it, and that's even part of the problem that he has with Mace when he's going after Palpatine. Mace is right in killing Palpatine, but he's not right because according to the virtues he's not supposed to do that. So it's this very gray area. So I think Obi-Wan being in that gray area and having to make that decision would be very, very interesting to watch. So I kind of hope so. Plus I really don't want to I would love a Reva spinoff, but I don't actually know if I really want her to survive this series, because I don't really know if we need another character that exists in the universe that just doesn't help the rebellion. Like, let's just kill her, and she would be the most interesting because she would be a Darth person that's supposed to go on their road to redemption and then is killed instead. I think that'd be more interesting.
Yeah.
So, like, if she gets a spinoff, I would rather it be a prequel to this series instead.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that was my initial thought, is it could have been how she became an Inquisitor and then show more of how Inquisitors are trained, or maybe how that was kind of brought together to begin with.
Yeah, that's what I would rather her do. I love Moses and I love her character, but like I think her character had it's just like Tala had to die. Like some of these people just gotta go. That's it.
Yeah, I definitely love her character a lot more after this recent episode. What do you guys feel like? How do you guys feel about like her getting, stabbed in the stomach or whatever, and like surviving that, but the Qui-Gon doesn't? I know a lot of people will talk about that, or like a lot of people just survive these things, and Qui-Gon's the only one that died.
Well, Qui-Gon kind of makes his decision beforehand. Qui-Gon decides to do it. Like, he doesn't decide, but he knows what's coming. Anytime I rewatch it, when I see him sitting there meditating, I feel like he knows. It's the same meditation. It's the same meditation that Ben does in A New Hope, when he turns, but Ben literally gives up. Qui-Gon doesn't entirely give up. Qui-Gon at least gives it a shot, I guess. But
Yeah. I saw someone
That's so
also say
true.
their hatred keeps them alive.
That's what I saw too, because Maul
I think Maul did that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Maul's like, I got cut in half, but I'm alive and I don't care.
But I hate
And
Obi-Wan,
Reva
so I'm surviving.
Yeah. Reva wants revenge so bad she just doesn't want to die yet.
I mean, Look at even Anakin. I mean, Anakin really should be dead. Like he's literally using the Force just to like live in a suit.
He took
He's
Padme.
like literally living in spite of Obi-Wan. That's basically his point.
Yeah, it's all the Emperor's fault for saving him.
Literally. So rude.
He's still alive.
It's so funny because like Vader's the most iconic villain of all time, but in reality, like technically probably the greatest villain of all time has to be the Emperor because of 9 movies worth of plotting and doing and manipulating literally life itself, essentially.
Yeah. I still think the Emperor took Padme's like life force and gave it to Anakin so he could survive.
I
know
really
it's
love
not canon, but
I really love that thought. I really do.
Me too. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I know this is like kind of not related, but like, so obviously like Anakin's father's never really mentioned. Where do you think this guy came from?
Well, I'm waiting for people to go, oh, Obi-Wan said he had a brother. That must be Anakin. I'm waiting. I don't know why that's not a theory on Star Wars Twitter because there's plenty of stupid theories. Like, I don't know why that's not one. But, which is fine by me because I don't.
Just tweet it. Start the theory.
But I don't really want to because I don't actually want it to be true. So I don't really want to start it because, like, I don't feel like it's necessary, but that would be interesting if, like, Shmi, like, literally lied to Qui-Gon.
Oh, about like, there not being a father?
Yeah. Oh, there wasn't I gave birth or whatever. Like, maybe she, like, lied and, like, actually didn't give birth. In the comics, they hint. They basically do what everybody thought, but then they don't make it canon. Because, like, there's a sequence where Vader finds out who his father is, and it's Sidious using the midichlorians in Shmi. But then, like, apparently in, like, a later issue that's contradicted, or, like, you basically find out that Vader almost, like, rationalizes his existence from it as opposed to it actually being a fact. So,
yeah, I'm so glad that you've read all these comics and stuff because you have so much to add.
I need no idea.
I need to get back into them. But, like, I feel like the comics have become so much more necessary than people realize, but they also kind of change things, which will have to be another discussion. But for me, like the Poe Dameron comics, his arc in the comics is his arc in The Last Jedi, and it takes place in Force Awakens. So I have an issue with his arc in Last Jedi because it already happened, in my opinion. But
I didn't even know he had his own comics.
That's cool. His comics are awesome. He like has to like. It's like during the early stages of like the friggin' First Order and stuff, and like how it's like basically being built while like there's a republic, and like he's like doing like stuff for the Resistance already, and I think the Hutts are involved in one of them because the Hutts always end up involved.
That's something I love about Star Wars is how the other materials besides movies enhance the overall story. Not just shows, but comics, books. Because I've started really reading a lot of the canon novels and stuff.
That's what I want to do.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
I have to read more of them. Did anybody read Bloodline?
I'm in the middle. No, I finished Bloodline. Yeah.
Okay, because
which one is that?
That's Leia.
Of course, Aubrey started that one.
During the New Republic. It's I think it's one of my favorite books in general. I really liked it.
Yeah, it goes into the politics and stuff. It's really good.
Yeah.
Also, Leia, Princess of Alderaa's a really good book.
I'll add that to the list.
Yeah.
What was the anyone can answer this? What was the first novel you read?
And Dark Disciple.
Wait, that's Star Wars or in general?
Star Wars. My bad. Yeah, I'm not talking about Harry Potter or none of that.
Well, that's why I was asking because I'm like, I don't remember.
No, I'm just kidding.
The Magic Treehouse actually probably was it. If anybody remembers that, that's old. I got those when those were made. My God.
Oh my Lord.
I think the first Star Wars book I read was when Phantom Menace came out. I was in, what was that, second grade, first grade, whatever it was. And I was sometime in elementary school, and what they were doing was they were making, maybe they were called like Master and Apprentice. They're not canon anymore, but they were essentially Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
I think that one is canon. I think I've heard of that one.
I think he's talking about two different things. 'cause
No,
there's
it's not.
one
It's a
novel that-
series, not that book.
Yeah.
There was a book that was just
Yeah.
released.
Oh, okay.
For them, but there was like a book series, and
Gotcha.
it was like Obi-Wan really young, and you found out that Qui-Gon had a apprentice before Obi-Wan that turned evil. That
Yeah.
was like a prince of something, and they fight him. And Qui-Gon had a love interest that he dumped to be a Jedi. There was like 10 books. I have them somewhere in the attic, I'm sure.
And you read them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
These are
yeah.
like-
I read those, and then there was also a Maul bio book. Like it was almost
That
like
sounds
his journal.
fantastic.
And like it actually, the last entry is from Palpatine explaining how he died.
Hmm.
So that was really cool. That I don't know if it's canon, but it almost sounds like that one might be. But the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon one was not.
Interesting.
Mine was Leia, Princess of Alderaan.
Nice.
Well, hey, you're starting with canon. Like it's probably easier to start with canon.
Yeah,
honestly,
I
but,
didn't want to get into like the legends yet until I kind of read more of the canon books because I just felt like that would have confused me.
So the thing was like I like I said, like I read. I mean, I was reading these like before like this canon was established, like before Disney bought them. So like
Right.
I was just buying
Yeah.
them as they went. And,
The one that you said, Emily, what was it called again?
Dark Disciple.
And is that the one with Ventress or no?
Yeah, so
I think.
Dark Disciple originally was going to be a Clone Wars arc. It got written, I think it was by George Lucas's daughter actually that wrote it, possibly originally. And then it got changed to a novel. But it's basically about Ventress and Quinlan Voss. I won't say anything else if you haven't read it,
Shit.
but very good. It's basically Clone Wars on paper.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Do we see like do we see like Anakin or Obi-Wan in it?
Yeah,
No?
the council is in it. Obi-Wan and Anakin are in it, especially at the end. There's some clones. There's some like criminal groups that kind of pop up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's very good.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna go grab a phone charger really quick. I will be
No
back
problem.
before my phone
Alright.
dies on me.
No, you're fine. And then Aubrey, you said, have you only read like one novel fully, which was
No, I've read about. I think I've gotten through about like 4 or 5 of them. 5 ones.
what are the other ones? Are they all Princess Leia or what?
No, well, the Bloodline one I've read. Oh my gosh, what is it called? Lost Stars. The
nice.
Brotherhood ones.
Oh, I want to read that
Brotherhood
one.
book.
Well,
It's really good.
that's the new one, right? With Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
Okay.
it came out like maybe a month ago, I think.
Yeah, I definitely
I've
want to
read
read that one.
Queen's Hope. And okay, so 4. Yeah, I've read those.
Nice. I want to
I heard
read
you say something about Brotherhood. That one's phenomenal.
It is so good. It made me sad though, so many times.
Well, when does that one take place? Is that before Attack of the Clones or no?
It's right after Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah,
So it's kind of like right before the Clone Wars, or
it's like the beginning of the Clone War, like the very beginning.
gotcha. Damn,
Yeah, it's really good though. You should read it.
I want to. I'm just trying to figure out what, like, since I've never read any of them, like which one I should start with. I'm really interested in the one with Qui-Gon and Dooku. I don't know what happened to Emily right there.
Oh,
but
I
yeah,
plugged my phone into a charger. We're good.
I forgot what it's called. I don't know if you guys remember, but the one with
Wait,
Qui-Gon
which
and Dooku.
Oh, Jedi Lost.
That one.
I read that one too.
That one really interests me. Did you like that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the style of like a screenplay. So it's a little bit different. It's kind of like reading a script, but I did enjoy it. And there's Ventress in it too.
Interesting. I didn't know it was that whole script thing.
Yeah,
kind of like takes me out of it a little bit.
Scripts are weird, but I'm used to it. But yeah, I guess for other people, it's not the same.
Yeah, I'm definitely not used to that. Like literally, the only books, the very first book I read, it's not Star Wars, is like I think the first Hunger Games book, and then I've only read 3 other books besides that, and it's like the first 3 Harry Potter ones. So reading the Star Wars novel would probably be a lot different. Super hyped to start that though. We'll see which one I get first. We'll see. Brotherhood really sticks out for me, especially because it's new, and because of this whole show, Kenobi right now. So, but yeah, I've never read any comics or anything like that. Yeah, hope to though. You have a lot of information, Jimmy. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I try. I was actually really nervous that like because everybody seems to be like really big prequel people like that. I was like, uh-oh, there's gonna be things that I'm gonna miss, you know, and like and I don't know much with like legends and stuff like that. I read like one novel, and then I never went back to it, especially after Disney bought it and then made everything like not canon. I was like, you know, I don't really
no point.
Yeah, I want to just for the sake of like just storytelling and stuff, but like from like a pure like what is canon, I'm like I could just stick to this, and especially now that they just keep, like adding comics and they add all this other stuff.
For some reason I don't know what it is, but like I don't have that much interest in stuff that's not canon to me. I don't know why.
The same way.
Well, that's how I feel like with Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter might have ruined it for me because
what with the cursed child or what?
Well, that too. That's garbage. That's like
I heard it wasn't good.
Like
because that one's written like a screenplay, right?
Yeah, well, it's written like a play.
Okay.
It's a play, so it's like it's a different format. But like yeah, that's like literally garbage because like basically I don't know whose thought process it was to make Harry a terrible father. I don't know whose drunken ass thought that, but whatever. But I feel like, you know, like JK was like bringing stuff up, and then there's like the Fantastic Beasts movies, and I just feel like it's like beating a dead horse because it's not really expanding anything. It's just like contradicting stuff, and it's not making anything interesting. It's just annoying. And I feel like although Disney has its flaws, they took from Lucas with like, oh, Clone Wars expands it and it expands the world properly. So like I like that. So I'm just trying to like stick with that because like with Legends, like Han and Leia having 3 kids, one of them turning to the dark side, Luke being married and having a daughter, it's like that's like so different. I mean, it's cool, but it's super different. And like, yeah. So I'm just trying to stick to this, especially because like even the stuff that is canon is that's not the movies or the TV shows is still a little bit hit or miss. Like I feel like some of the Star Wars comics, I feel like they're just kind of like some of the main trio from the original trilogy between A New Hope and Empire is just kind of like weird. There's not like as much to do. It's like very first season Rebels-esque. But then you have something like the first 25 issues of Darth Vader, which includes the Vader Down arc, which Vader Down is probably one of the coolest stories just like ever in Star Wars. So all of his were really good. Poe's is decent. Star Wars is hit or miss in a couple of them. And yeah, so like there's already like a lot. Like I don't need any more. And now we have the High Republic stuff, which I started the first novel, and I really like how it's written, but I'm more of a movie person. I like watching things better.
Me too. I've seen that like some novels and stuff have like if you listen to them, there's like sound effects and stuff. So I feel like that might get my attention. might make me feel like more immersed into it, like hearing like lightsaber noises and all that good stuff. So hopefully, the one I first read has that because I'm probably more like I can probably listen to it since I don't have that much time like when I'm home and stuff. But like I could probably listen to it like while I'm at work. That'd be better for me.
Yeah, that works.
That'd be cool. I think I did that with some of the Harry Potter ones actually. But yeah. Do you guys have anything more to say about? I totally forgot about this comment on the screen. My bad. The sequence is Sidious.
Yes. Oh, then the next comment actually has to do with Vader Down.
Let me pull it up. I'm surrounded by fear and dead men. It's so
cold.
My
good lord!
I need to read these comics.
Like he's literally standing in front of the entire rebellion on a planet with the Empire is light years away, and he literally just like says that with like X-wings in front of him and everything, and it's like one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen. Because then he also just dominates. like Kenobi's still only showing a taste. Like there's like so much. He's so much more violent than that.
Damn. Yeah, see, that makes me want to read all that stuff. I
I
love
heard that
Vader.
those
If you
ones are
only
really
ever
good.
read, if you only ever read one, just read the Vader Down graphic novel because it will have that, and it's literally just like a single mission, and it's like fun. Does everybody know how yeah, that's exactly what I wanted was in live action. Has everybody seen how Vader finds out about Luke? Does everybody know that one? That's also in a
No.
comic. I don't know if I
Nope.
should say it then. I guess I'll leave it.
Wait, he finds out about Luke off screen.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. I haven't watched those original movies. In a
Is
while.
that when
it's not
Boba
even-
Fett tells him?
He hires Boba Fett. That's part of one of the first comics in the series. Is he hires Boba Fett to find out about the pilot that blew up the Death Star and all that.
Oh.
And then Boba comes back to him on his destroyer. It's like issue 5, and
I
he goes,
saw that
"I
on
only got
Twitter.
I only got
I
a
think
name."
I've seen. Yeah.
He goes, "I
I've
only
seen,
got a
like, someone,
name,
like, post a
Skywalker."
picture.
And then you see
Yeah.
him like near literally breaking the glass because he's so mad.
Ooh, God.
So that like is why in Empire he's so for Skywalker, and then it also contradicts the special edition where the Emperor says, "The son of Skywalker lives," and then Vader says that's impossible. It's really funny because in the original cut of the film, when they use like the woman with the frog eyes, Vader knows that about Skywalker. He doesn't say like, "Oh, that's impossible" or any sort of stupid thing like that. He just says, "But if he could be turned."
Wait a second. I don't know if I think it's an Empire. I think it's I think it's an added scene actually that they made like over the years. When Sidious is talking to Vader,
Well,
he's
that's
like,
so it's
"The
not
offspring."
it's actually not an added scene. There was a scene with the Emperor, but it was before Ian.
Oh, it was the original actor, right? Or I mean the.
It was literally the face of an old woman with her eyes cut out and replaced with frog eyes.
Oh
And then-
shit!
It really
Sounds
looks like
disturbing.
garbage.
I didn't know that.
And
I really didn't know that.
but like he says like the son of Skywalker lives, and then Vader just responds, "But if he can be turned, he would make a powerful ally." There's not this line of like that's impossible or whatever is in the special edition. So Vader knows going into Empire who Luke is, and that's why the entire movie is dedicated to I'm going after Luke and I will do everything that I can, which is essentially how Vader works. I have quarrels with the
I'm still confused.
Oh my
So
god! I'll have to find the scene. I can find a comparison of the scene.
So you're saying that Vader knows about Luke going into Empire Strikes Back,
Yes.
but that scene I just brought up, he makes it sound like he's never heard of Luke before.
Well, in the special edition, he makes it seem that way.
So is that only in the special edition? Is that scene?
It's only in the special edition that is, but the special edition is technically canon, but so is the comic, which he finds out not long after.
So that's
therefore,
crazy.
Therefore, he lies to Sidious.
Oh.
But he knows the whole time. That's the point of Empire, which is also I think partially why it's my favorite because there's more Vader and like
That is a good one.
and he's literally just out. He's like both like out for revenge, but like out to get his son, and like it's just so good.
Yeah, I should have definitely like put Empire like on top of my list somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta go. Well, no, I don't know if it's because of my age or how I was introduced to Star Wars, but I feel like as I was looking on Star Wars Twitter, I'm like, nobody's rankings has all of the originals like in the top 5. Like everybody has them like so low, and I'm like, you do realize we literally do not have this without that. Like
I know that doesn't
Like-
mean it's your
like-
favorite one though.
it's just like for me like the first Harry Potter movie is obviously within like the top 3, not even because it's the best one, but literally.
Oh my god, I need a Harry Potter podcast. I haven't done that yet.
Stop it.
Just saying.
You
Do
should.
you want to start one? Because I don't know if you can tell.
Go
but
on all day.
I can go
Yeah.
off on all this stuff. I
Yeah.
can't stop talking.
I'll eventually do one for sure, but just not right now. God, I was gonna bring something up, but I forgot. Did Emily and Aubrey? Did you guys make a ranking yet for the Star Wars movies?
Not yet.
Yeah, I tweeted it like a while back, but I feel like my list changes a lot. Well, my top 3 don't change, I don't think,
Yeah.
but the rest shift around.
What's your top 3? Let's hear it.
Okay, 3. This is controversial. Attack of the Clones. 2. Return of the Jedi, and then 1. Revenge of the Sith.
That's almost like mine.
Really?
but Rogue One's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I really like Rogue One.
I know my top 3, but like the rest of them changed too. But, like my top 3 stay the same.
What are your top 3?
Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One.
God, everybody has Rogue One so high. I'm waiting for
I
someone.
love
Really?
it.
I'm
I
waiting for
love
someone to
Rogue
rip me
One.
apart because it's like towards the bottom for me.
I haven't seen anyone with Rogue One actually,
Oh.
so I'm surprised to say that.
So here's my problem with it. I think the 2 most interesting new characters, are Galen and Krennic, which Krennic has a good arc. Galen should have had a better arc. And I think, sadly, Jyn Erso is probably the least interesting character. And I don't think it's Felicity Jones' problem. I think it's the way the movie's edited. Because everybody, for some reason, they go, oh, I love this movie. And then they post a GIF literally from the trailer and not from the movie. Because the trailer and the movie are so black and white. It's so crazy. And apparently, I don't know why.
You're getting heated.
Well, that's why I have a problem with it. Like, I don't like that they're 2 separate things. Like, I don't mind that people like what they got. I just have a problem with like the fact that like I was told one thing with this trailer and then I got something else entirely. Like Jyn Erso saying the line, "This is a rebellion. I rebel." Like, it presented itself as, oh, she's gonna be somebody that rebels on her own and she's got to learn to work with this group. Instead, it was, she was part of the rebellion. She's left it. She's in jail. She's not doing anything. And then she's like kind of thrown into it and forced into it. She doesn't even really, I don't even feel like she makes her own decisions to get there back into the rebellion. So that's my problem with it. And I don't really care much for the characters. Like, them dying does mean nothing. Like, I'm like, oh, okay.
So like throughout the film, you didn't feel like attached
no, I felt
to
like
them
they all had to
whatsoever.
die. That was the problem. Is like I just kind of, because they don't go any further. So like I just kind of felt like, so there's just less emotion involved for me. I think it visually is very pretty.
Yeah.
I think the other thing too is everybody talks about how gritty it is and like it's this war movie, and I kind of think it's Star Wars' version of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, oh, here's like a Suicide Squad, which those are 2 different things to me. It's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. If I want gritty army, I will watch the last 30 minutes of Attack of the Clones and get more out of it. Like, I think that grittiness of like the sand and the shooting, or like in Kenobi, I think those fight scenes are done better.
So Jimmy, do you agree with Bloba saying it's mid?
I have it as my second least, so I have
So bad.
No. It's not that it's so bad because I for Celebration I rewatched all the movies and I still enjoyed it. Like the least Star Wars movie is Star Wars Clone Wars because that's like a pilot episode. Pilot episodes always suck. So like it's still like low. It's low on that ranking, but like I still enjoy it. Like I enjoyed it more like this time around, and I don't know if it was the hype of Celebration, the fact that so many people like it, and just kind of taking it for what it is as opposed to what I think it should have been. But like I said, like I think from a filmmaking standpoint, it's like super pretty. Like Solo, I think is a more interesting story, and I like it, but it does nothing visually. It's very bland looking. Whereas like Rogue One does some really cool, pretty things.
But
I would have honestly rather a Krennic movie with the Rogue One people just being his adversaries. I think it would have been more interesting. I thought Krennic was just a super interesting character. And I think Cassian's interesting, and I'm very excited for the series. I think Jyn is probably better. It's probably more interesting than we see in that movie. And I think all the characters are. I just don't think they don't have enough time to do enough for me.
Well, do you think like I mean, I'm surprised I liked it as much as I do, like without any of like Force users or anything. But do you think like that movie does a great job leading up into a New Hope? Like, do you think that was?
It does really work. I think it's still a little bit. It's still it's just like with the prequels, you're naturally gonna have a couple of gray areas, like where you're like, does this really? But it works. I do like how Rogue One ends is very much like a big action rush that makes you want to watch A New Hope. So I think that works really nicely.
And then I put on New Hope and then I fall asleep to it.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't know, like, because part of it was I was introduced to Star Wars from my mom, and my mom's favorite was the first one because that was the first one that she saw in theaters. But like, and I don't know if it's because I'm a movie guy, and like, if you break down Star Wars and like just how brilliant and simple it is. If that's also why, but yeah, like even though like it's like my lowest of the live action, it like doesn't mean it's bad by any strength. It's just I think a lot of it is like I follow movie news like crazy. So I remember when it premiered, like the first scenes like at CinemaCon or something like that, and they were like, "Oh, this is like this gritty war movie," and then like I remember seeing it, and I'm like, I don't know, Marvel just did Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like it's more similar to Guardians than it is Saving Private Ryan, which is fine. It's just different, you know. Like if you look at the first ever trailer, like Saw Gerrera has no hair, looks younger. There's the scene with her running towards the walker, which doesn't exist. Her facing the TIE fighter doesn't exist. Oh, this is a rebellion. I rebel. That's not there. There's like a lot of scenes that aren't there from the first trailer, which the first trailer was like really good. And like I said, if you look at a lot of GIFs, they always show Jyn Erso like running towards the walker. And it's like, dude, that scene just doesn't occur.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that trailer.
Yes, and I didn't realize. I knew that there was one scene that didn't make it to the final movie that was in the trailer, but I didn't know the extent of it.
Oh no, like 75% of the first trailer just doesn't exist. Like, and you're like, so
damn, I did not know that.
Like, so I don't know if that like kind of ruined it for me. Like, I might have been better off like not knowing anything and just going.
Yeah, false advertising.
Yeah, but like I like because I that was the whole thing was like I remember I thought Jyn Erso would be the most interesting. And then I feel like she's a strong warrior and there is more to her, but she's not given enough because they rewrote her and reshot her so much to the point where, like, when she's in that first scene with Cassian, she's like not even talking half the time. She just sits there and listens. That's like totally different than, Saw Gerrera just like dying is like really convenient for the plot. Like, this guy,
but he still shows up in every other Star Wars piece of media.
Not only that, in every single one of them,
literally,
in every single one of them, he's a fighter, except this one. And I'm like, he would never like. I just watched the Rebels episode with him on Geonosis. He was literally willing to commit genocide. I'm pretty sure he doesn't give up. Like that's like the one thing he doesn't do. So that's a problem. I don't really care for the pilot because the whole Moid Gali thing is supposed to like ruin his mind, and then like he's like fine, and then he's like helping the rebellion, and I'm like, yo, his mind is supposed to be like scrambled eggs, but it's not. That's like false advertising within the movie. The most interesting aspect is the fact that Cassian has to decide how dark he's supposed to go for the rebellion, which is now why he's getting a show. So he's like most interesting. I would have liked more Bail Organa too.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Smits is wildly underutilized in basically every sort of.
I wonder if we'll see some of him in Andor. Because it deals with like the more political side of things.
Yeah, since Mon Mothma is going to be there.
I feel like it makes sense for Belle to be there too.
Yeah, speaking of Andor, Bloba asked what we think about it. It looks great.
It looks good.
The trailer looked really good. I watched that celebration.
Yeah, it
looked awesome.
Yeah, so did I. I think it'll be really good. Like I said, I think there was a lot of interesting stuff brought up. I just don't think it meshed well. It's just like Solo. There was interesting things brought up, but I have another problem with Solo because it shouldn't exist. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Solo. I hate the whole like wink nod. Oh, Han, we know you're a good guy, and I'm like, really? Like I know that that's his arc, but like that undermines it. Like that all the other characters know that he's a good guy and he doesn't. I'm like, nah, he should kind of be an asshole until like he meets Luke. That's what I wanted. But it's okay. It's still enough. I want Ron Howard to get another chance at Star Wars. Because he had to basically take he basically Frankenstein Solo. I actually want him to do Solo because I feel like there's more to Solo's story. But I'm sorry, I'm just like going off on tangents.
I know, honestly, I have so much I want to say in my head, but it's like not related to Obi-Wan Kenobi. So.
Well, it's related because everything that we're talking about is still in that timeline. We are talking about the Sith and A New Hope.
Yeah, you're right.
So we are overlapping, sort of.
This is off topic again, but I still want to say it. Dude, it's so cool that you cosplay Harry Potter because you give me such Harry Potter vibes, dude. Like it's insane.
I was thinking that too.
Like Daniel Radcliffe vibes. Oh my god.
I was thinking that too this whole time. I was like, he reminds me of Harry Potter.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's like I'm talking to Harry right now.
Literally. I get that.
So I just want to mention that.
I get that a lot.
Awesome.
I almost mashed up the cosplays for Celebration, but I was like, I really want to just do Star Wars because like I do other cons and like New York Comic Con, I'm gonna do match up and stuff. But yeah,
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, so far I've only cosplayed Anakin, so I do have a
Really?
few more I want to do, but I want to keep them a surprise. So yeah, because I feel like I don't know. There's some characters I just can't pull off.
Yeah.
Like I got dark brown hair. Like I don't know.
don't worry about it. That's it don't matter.
It's
I have
such
helmets
an-
though. You see my
Yeah.
helmets right there?
Yeah.
Those are. Is that a Rex helmet you have?
Yeah. I have a
Oh my
Rex,
God. I'm gonna steal
501st.
that.
Yeah, you're
on
on
your
my
Rob
Rob
list.
list. I hope you
You're
know.
on my
Yeah, I know,
Rob
you tell
list
me.
too.
Oh,
You take the Hunter one.
I
Yeah,
thought of
Yeah.
that's
this.
the first
I
one.
thought of this as something like as a crazy theory. I don't actually think it'll happen, but real quick, since
Real quick.
I know, right? There has
30
actually
minute
been
tangent.
Yeah.
2 instances of a live action Hondo, which means that we can get a third in Kenobi. So they've already done it because in the Millennium
Wait,
Falcon,
You say Hondu?
yeah, Hondo. There's been
Wait,
2 already.
Hondo and
tripping?
Hondo.
Oh,
Hondo.
why do you say Hondu?
Hondo.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was like, is that a different character I don't know about?
I've never heard of
Okay.
that person before.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't know
Hondo.
why- I don't know why I'm hearing Ezra say Hondo. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was like, what the hell?
But so in the Falcon, there's a live action version of it in like a video, and there's also a live action version on the Star Cruiser. So they already have the technology to make him live action. So I think it would be super crazy if Obi-Wan starts out with them not having a hyperdrive and they get
Ooh.
attached
Hey,
to a
that's
ship,
such a good thought.
and Hondo comes out and he says, "Well, I was asked to do this," and we find out that the person that asked him to do it was Rex. I think that would be insane. That's not going to
Live
happen.
action?
I'm sorry to get people.
That's
so
wild.
but I was thinking about that today. If that actually were to happen, and that would happen within the first 5 minutes, and then like everybody would just be
Yeah.
deceased for the rest of the episode, they'd be like, "No, it
Yeah.
can't happen."
Yeah,
Literally.
imagine getting Hondo and Rex in the same episode.
Oh my god. I don't think I would survive watching that, to be honest with you guys.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'd have to stop.
You wouldn't hear from
Oh.
me for at least a week just processing
Yeah.
what happened.
Maybe you mix them up with Yondu.
Yondu.
from
I
Guardians of the
probably
Galaxy.
did. I probably did. My head is in like 30 different places right now.
I thought we were gonna like see something about Satine, like in Obi-Wan.
Me too.
Kenobi.
I mean, they still might. They always still could.
Yeah.
I feel
true.
like they still. I feel like they want to make sure that people that just watch the movies like enjoy it, I guess, and like
Yeah, they want to make sure everyone like kind of understands.
Yeah.
because like if
what's
you
going
don't know that bombshell, like it's kind of like a big one, like the whole
Mhm.
world,
Right.
right over your head.
on. People see it like who the heck is this chick?
Who is that?
Why does this chick mean so much to Obi-Wan?
Oh, I really want to ask Dave Filoni if he's a Moulin Rouge fan because
Yes.
Ewan McGregor's. If anybody didn't see it, Ewan McGregor's love interest is called Satine, and the movie was made in 2001, so it would definitely work. Where
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, I'm an Ewan fan. We're gonna throw this like little Easter egg in." I really hope that's the case.
Have any of you met Dave Filoni?
No.
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 Damn, I was just wondering.
Yeah,
I saw him
no,
at like Celebration a few times. I didn't
No,
actually meet him.
when I found out that he was at like Star Wars night, I literally spent like a good like hour walking the park in case I were in.
Oh yeah, you found
I
him,
would
right?
have done that too.
No, I didn't find him.
No. Oh, I thought maybe that's someone else's.
Other people did. I just never lucked out, and I was really disappointed.
He was just walking
John
around,
Favreau
right?
was there, right? Too. And
I
Pedro
saw pictures
Pascal.
of him.
Yeah,
I know Hayden was there.
I was about to say
Hayden
Hayden was there.
there.
Mhm.
And Ian McDermott was also at Star Wars night. I didn't see anybody.
I was happy
you
to hear
met-
that.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I was happy to hear that Hayden was there because I didn't know if he was gonna show up to Celebration, and like after I heard that he was at Disneyland Disneyland,
Yeah.
I was like, damn. So I think he's definitely gonna show up like tomorrow or something here at Celebration. But yeah, sorry, you can go ahead, Aubrey.
Oh, all I was gonna say is, could you imagine standing in line and just seeing Pedro Pascal walk next to you? That's
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
or it's like you're on
I
a
would
ride and he
yeah.
gets on behind you.
I would be like, can I get on next to him?
Yeah, no, I was really hoping that would happen, but was not lucky.
Wait, Aubrey and Emily, did you go to Celebration?
No.
Sadly,
Too
I
far of a
watched from my
flight.
couch and cried.
Me too. That's so weird.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
living through everyone else, like watching everyone meet up and just being sad. I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah,
Damn,
well,
and
you
then
guys-
when
felt
the Bad Batch
Celebration
panel was
wasn't
going
long
on. Oh yeah, I wish it was a week. That would have been phenomenal.
because Matt, like I think we might have bumped into each other like once. Like
I don't remember seeing you at all.
I think you were.
I was
with-
about to say,
I
like, I'm
think-
surprised.
No,
we
I
didn't.
think so. Here's what happened. I had met Allie earlier in the day, and then I saw her when I was
Yeah.
leaving. So I ran over to her, and I'm pretty sure you were standing there. And I just did not.
Oh,
switch
probably.
with you. I literally was like, I don't know who this is, but I gotta go.
I gotcha.
So so I felt like I didn't get a chance to like meet everybody as much because I was like running around doing things. And I took my mom because my mom's a big Star Wars fan. So I was like, so my mom and I were like running around doing 30 million different things. So then I didn't meet as many people because I was like running around. And I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that was the best time ever. Do you guys plan to go, Emily and Aubrey? Do you guys plan to go to either the next one or next one after that?
Whenever it's back in America and hopefully in Orlando.
That's how I feel.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't go to London. That's so expensive.
I don't
Yeah.
think
Even
I can
going
either.
to the West Coast is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was like a
difficult.
$2,000 flight to go to the West Coast, and I was like,
Really?
Really?
never mind.
Where,
What the heck?
Aubrey? Where are you? That is that much?
I
Like,
don't I don't know. I was probably looking at the
Unholy
most
places.
expensive
We're in unholy places. That's where.
apparently, like, because I feel
places
like
you don't want to be.
I
There you
feel
go.
like I feel like 800 was like the most that I saw, but I'm also in New York,
I
so like
wish.
I feel like I didn't realize they were that much. Now I like feel bad because like next time like I don't know where everybody is, but like maybe we gotta congregate somewhere with better flights.
Yeah, I
And
remember
it's,
Ali was saying that it's cheaper to go to London than to go to California. I think she said
I
from where
think-
she's
I-
at.
Yeah,
I was
well,
like, what the heck?
her it's like so like she's like literally like from what I understand, she's like 2.5 hours away from me. So like
Oh yeah.
yeah, so where we are, I think
Yeah, I guess
think
you're
$100 cheaper.
Is
for
it closer
London.
though? How far is London from?
London's 5 hours, and
Only 5?
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
damn. That's
Maybe it's only
pretty
4.
close.
No, I think it's 5. I don't remember. I think
5?
I
That
don't
feels
know.
so
I think it's
short.
like 14 for me or something crazy.
I think it's like 6-hour flight, 7-hour flight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn. Either way, it's gonna be super expensive. I don't know if I
Yeah.
can do that.
It's like
I,
a
well,
1,000.
As much as
I
I'd love
looked.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping I can save up enough, but I have a friend that lives in the Czech Republic, so like we've been trying to do like a trip to him for like years. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to plan it so I go there because then it's like dirt cheap to go from there to London. So that's what I'm hoping. So then it's like, well, I have to go see a BFF, so therefore I have to go to Celebration too. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Everyone
Quite
in London-
conveniently over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd want to have like a long time there because I'd want to do more than just go to Celebration. Like I'd want to like sightsee and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Especially
Yeah.
a place like
Pinewood
London.
Studios is like a big one for me. I'm like, I gotta go there. I have to go.
I also wanted to. I didn't want to forget. I was gonna say what Ali wanted me to say. That
Oh.
her input for the podcast is, I'm loving the Order 66 flashbacks because the youngling content is gonna give us so many memes. That's what she
Yeah.
wanted to say. It never gets old, she said.
It's a beautiful thing.
So yeah, that's her input for that. I know we went on like a lot of tangents. towards
just
the
a
end.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take a brunt of the blame for that. My bad.
No, you're fine. I was actually like listening to
It was
everything you had to
interesting.
say.
Yeah, you had interesting stuff to say. I learned new things today. So
Yeah,
Oh,
for
that's
sure.
good.
Me too.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm glad to have had you on here because you had so much knowledge, Harry.
yeah,
Mr. Harry Potter over here.
Harry
Well,
Potter.
as the
Yeah.
Yoda of our Twitter group, because I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest.
Yoda.
I feel like I should have the most.
Grandmaster.
I
There you
should,
go.
but whatever. It's fine.
Well, yeah, I think we pretty much talked about everything about episode
Mhm.
5. I think
Yeah.
so. I hope so. And then we already discussed our predictions for episode 6, right? If I remember correctly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I don't know if
think
anybody
we're-
else has any other like random ones.
I don't
Yeah,
know, I'm
if you
just
guys-
manifesting Padme. So
yeah.
that's
Well,
all
wanna
I'm
see
gonna
her
say.
so
if
bad.
it's supposed to be like the movies where like this next one's Return of the Jedi, so it's like, does that mean we
Oh,
get like
yeah,
a happy
yeah,
ending
yeah.
of some sort?
Yeah, I just don't know how Natalie Portman feels about Star Wars, honestly. 'Cause I don't
Yeah.
see her involved in
I just-
really anything.
I feel like she feels like I feel like she feels the same way as she felt with Thor, because like in her character in Thor, like as intelligent of a woman that she played, she still was a damsel in distress, which is not what Natalie Portman wants to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Taika Waititi being like, well, if you come back, you do this, and then she did. I feel like it's a similar thing. So as long as somebody presents her with a way to take the character and not be a damsel in distress, I think she'll come back. As long as her schedule's not too busy, because I know during this, I'm sure she was filming Thor. So
I think Natalie is fine with Star Wars. She just doesn't talk much about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't talk about it so much.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They could go really crazy and bring back Keira Knightley too. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my gosh,
That'd
that'd
be
be
crazy. Play Padme.
There you go.
Oh my god,
Crazy.
that would be like the funniest thing.
So I did forget that I have clips I wanted to play, so I guess I'll play those right now. If anybody that's watching has any more questions, go ahead and comment them right now, and then we'll get to them before it ends. She did a rap where she mentions it. Really?
Oh yeah, on
rap?
SNL. Natalie Portman raps.
I remember that.
I've never heard that
It's
in my
really
life.
funny. You should watch it.
You have to send me that after this. Keira Knightley as Sabe from the comics.
Oh my gosh, that'd be crazy to see Sabe in live action. Or we've already seen her in live action, just like, see her again.
Later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff with her in the like Queen's Hope, the Padme trilogy novels.
Yeah.
So I think that would be interesting to
It
bring
shows a
in.
lot more of their like relationship too.
Yeah.
Padme novels. Have any of you read any Padme novels?
They're really good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
Awesome.
first one, the one that occurs during Phantom Menace, changed the way that I watch the Phantom Menace in a good way.
Ooh.
It's all like from her perspective, right? Like everything.
It's her and
Or
the
I would assume
handmaidens
so.
and kind of what's going on Naboo when Padme is on Tatooine.
Oh dang. That is pretty
There's
cool.
3 of them.
Mhm.
See, someone commented. Speaking of Sabe, she is not in a lot of Vader comics. Or she is in a lot of Vader comics.
I think I remember. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it.
I've seen some stuff on Twitter about her in it. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. Well, I'm gonna put some clips just cause of the amazing scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan, a little bit of that stuff, and then the cool scene with Vader pulling the ship, and then we'll probably end it after that if we don't have any more questions. But yeah, let's do that right now. Let me pull this comment down before I play this. There you go. All right, let's go.
A Jedi's goal is to defend life, not take it.
Mercy doesn't defeat an enemy, Master. Why, you're good. There's no way out, Master. Admit you are beaten. Your weapon's gone. It's over.
And then the Vader one. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
awesome.
Those scenes were so amazing.
For real. I'm gonna go rewatch the episode again. Good night. It's night where I live, anyways. Oh wow, it's only 2
Good
o'clock
night, go
where
to
I'm
sleep.
at. Damn. Well, hey, this has been fun, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I'm glad-
thanks for
glad that
having
you guys
me.
are on here. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
this is the first podcast I've ever done, so
Really?
Really?
it was cool. Yeah.
I'm glad you guys liked it. Because it's my first time with all these people, like 4 people. So that was cool. But yeah, other than that, I think we discussed everything that was necessary. Super excited for the next episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi next Wednesday. I think all of you are gonna watch it before me, but that's fine.
I'll be able to.
I've got to delay it a couple hours this time because I'll be in Disney World and I'm not going to wake
my
up at 3 a.m. at
lucky.
Disney World, go back to sleep for an hour, and get up and go to a park. That's not happening.
That's fair. That's
For
totally
real.
fair.
Yeah, super excited for the next episode. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Aubrey. Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Jimmy, for joining. my podcast today. And other than that, I think that's it. I hope all you guys have a wonderful day, and see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.